me and Jacie are doing amazing. We have our ups and downs on occasion, but we had a moment and a really good in-depth deep talk um, on Sunday of last week, and we got really down and deep, and we told things that we've been keeping back in emotions and thoughts. And after that, it's just like a whole, not our whole attitude, but we seem more open to each other. At least it seems more open to me. I'm more open to her. Um, she explained a lot of stuff, and I listened. And I explained a lot of stuff, and she listened. And it was, and all in all, it started out as a really bad night. It did. Because of a situation. But then that situation caused us to open up and say things that we've been needing to say for a while, which is good. On the 18th of this month, we will be going out for 5 months, and I honestly have no problem and no doubt in saying that this has been the best 5 months of my life. I honestly don't know what I would have done if I would have never met her. I don't know what I would have done if I would have never seen her on the first day of school. We were in Mr. Belich's class, and she was sitting across the room from me. And she sat down, and the first thing I noticed was she had the same backpack as me, and it's an ICP backpack. I was like, that's the shit, you know. She's a let, right on, we need more family. And then that was when she was turned with her back towards me, and she turned around, and she sat down. And right as she sat down, she seemed to just, like, focus, like, just automatically look at me. And my face got so red, and I didn't know what to do. Like, when I get nervous, I act like a retard. So we were making faces back and forth at each other, making fun of our teacher. And, like, he would say something, and he makes all these weird facial expressions. And he would say something, and he would turn around, and I'd be like, and just sit there or, like, make funny faces. And it made her laugh. And when she laughed, her smile just, it made my heart race, and it made butterflies go fucking ape shit. And after that, I got switched out of the class, and it made me really, really, really sad. And I didn't really see her much until like a month after that, and she was standing in front of our nurse's office at PCO, and my little sister figure was standing next to her, so I went up and talked to her. And she was standing right next to me, and the whole time I'm thinking, oh my god, do not act like an idiot. Oh my god, do not act like an idiot. Please don't act retarded. And the first thing I do is I jump around in circles. I don't know. Like, the way she makes me feel and the things she makes me do are so not really out of the ordinary for me, but just the way that she makes me feel. I love that feeling. And after that, you know, I walked away and figured out that she was in Miss Haley's class, and Miss Haley is like my mother at that school. Like, she's my, literally, like, I go to her for everything. I call her mom in the hallway. I mean, I'm one of her children, basically. And I went into her class, and I would chill in her class, you know, when I would get done with work and other classes and whatnot. And I would go and I would sit in her class, and I realized that Jacie was in Miss Haley's class when I would go in there. So I went in there for a couple days. Finally I started going on Monday and went every day until Friday. And on Friday, I was sitting in her chair, and I was sitting at her desk and whatever, and the bell was getting ready to ring, and everybody was getting up and packing up all their shit. And she comes over and sits on my lap. I don't know her name. I don't know really who she is. I know what she looks like. And she just comes up and sits on my lap and looks over at me and licks my cheek. And from that moment, I was like, oh my god, she's so the girl I want to be with. Like, there's no way I can go without trying to get to know this person. There's no way. And we finally got to know each other, and we exchanged numbers that Monday. It might have been that Friday. I don't know. But she gave me her number, and I got into class, and she was having a bad day, and I texted her, and I asked, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then we started talking, and I said, just had figured out what her name was that day, and said, "If you ever need to talk to me, you can always come to me. I'm always here. My ears are big, and they're always open for listening." And from then on, it was an automatic click. We talked every day, and a week after that, a little less than a week, we had been talking and whatever, and we were standing outside her choir class, and I walked up to her and I smiled and I took her hand and I said, "Will you please do me a big favor?" She was like, "Yeah," and she looked at me all funny, and I said, "Will you please be my girlfriend?" And the look on her face was one that I really wish my eyes could take a camera, or could take a picture. It was the best face ever. I loved it. That Friday, that was the next week, but that Friday I got her number, or the week after I got her number, we were sitting outside my physics class, her biology class, and the bell had rang and I gave her a hug, and I turned back around to her and she turned back around to me and I ran to her, I grabbed her hand and I pulled her closer to me and I kissed her, and I didn't say anything, I just kissed her, and then I turned around to walk away, and I didn't go to class that whole day, that whole hour, because I was so red and like shaken, and I was still nervous, and it was a feeling that I'd never had felt before, and that's how I knew that I wanted to ask her out. That's how I knew that I wanted her to be with me as more than a friend. And almost 5 months later, here we are, still perfect. And I honestly could not ask for anything better, because there is nothing better. She is the most amazing, perfect, just, there is no words to describe her. She's gorgeous. She's funny as hell. She always knows how to make me laugh. She knows how to be serious but make a funny statement afterwards to where everybody cracks up in the room. Definitely knows how to make an entrance. And I trust her with everything. And it's really hard for me to do because of past experiences. But she is worth everything to me and more. She's my girl. She's my baby. She's my everything. And I trust her with my heart. A lot. 100%. So, Jacie, when you watch this, which you probably will before I put it up here, I love you with all my heart. And I always will. And I know that we're going to have our moments. But I'm never going to break my promises to you. You're worth everything to me. I love you more than words could ever show, more than any action could ever display. You are my one and only, and I promise with all my heart that I will always be here, and I will always fight for you, and I will always be your knight in shining armor, and that will never change. I love you, baby. Mwah.